Hi there, my name is Ron Quintero, and in this brief video presentation I want to be able to share with you the foreclosure timelines for a California resident. And I do this in a training capacity, and I'm going to use California as the example here, and if you're from, as an example, Florida or Texas or Illinois or New York, what you may want to do is use this platform as a format, as a layout, to be able to make the adjustments for the relevant timelines for your marketplace. And if in fact you want a copy of the chart I'm going to share with you right now, just contact my office at the end of this recording and we'll be more than happy to send it out to you in Microsoft PowerPoint format. It's always easier to adjust or tweak an existing model of something that's already working versus having to create something from scratch. So with that said, let's actually get into it. I've been in the foreclosure space since 1982. As a matter of fact, I started in a foreclosure marketplace. And in 1992, when we went back into here in Southern California, a second foreclosure marketplace, almost always when you meet a consumer that's confronted with foreclosure, they want to know, how much time do I have in my home, and what's going to happen to me, and how will the bank foreclose on me, and so forth. So this was a little tool that I put together to be able to explain the process to them. The first thing I explain is typically the mortgage lenders will file a notice of default when they're somewhere between 4 to 6 months in arrears. Now, the worse the market gets, the more they delay and procrastinate on that. They start doing things like loan modifications and so forth, just basically kicking the can down the road and delaying the problem that they're going to have to confront it later on. But typically, in a normalized market, when a person starts missing their payments, the bank's calling you, they're trying to work with you, they want to be able to try to prevent a foreclosure, because the cost of a foreclosure to a bank is terrible. But I'm not going to get into that. What I want to do is stick to the timelines, and keep in mind though that typically you see somewhere between 4 to 6 months in arrears. What will happen is, here in California, they then file what's called a notice of default, which you see right here. Notice of default period lasts approximately 90 days. So at this point, let's just say the person was 5 months in arrears. The notice of default was filed, so they're now 8 months in arrears. Then they file what's called a notice of trustee sale. By the way, all this doesn't happen 90 days, and on the 91st day they file this. There's usually between a 1 and 2 week lag somewhere in here, and depending upon how many foreclosures are going on, we've seen as much as a 30-day lag between these. So typically this is a 21-day period, and at the end of which they have a 5-day period. But what a lot of homeowners do is, right before the foreclosure sale, is they will then file bankruptcy. Now, there's two types of basic bankruptcies. There's Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. There's a Chapter 11, but that's primarily for businesses. So most consumers are going to deal with either a 7 or a 13. Depending upon the court system, and right now at the time of this recording, bankruptcy could take anywhere between 3 and 6 months. As a matter of fact, it's more likely that they're going to take more time than lesser time during this difficult lending environment as well as economy that we're currently going through. So at this point, if they were 8 months behind after the notice of default, then 9 months behind after the notice of trustee sale filing, and then they filed bankruptcy, and that took another 5 months. You can go ahead and do the math. They're now 13 to 14 months in this property without making a payment. After the Chapter 13 has been dismissed, or the repayment plan has been established in the Chapter 13, they then refile a brand new notice of default. This is the lender, okay? And the reason that they refile is because they want a clean chain of title. In other words, they want to make sure that the process cannot be questioned, and then the foreclosure can be rescinded. So what they want to do is make sure that they have a clean process with no disruptions, that again nobody can come back and challenge it later on. So we've got a brand new 90-day period. So we're now at month 17 or 18, I'm losing count here. Another notice of trustee sale filing. Then the bank takes back the property. They've got to go through the foreclosure and eviction process. We're 21 months into this thing so far. You've probably seen some of the stories on the news regarding people taking the plumbing and I've seen some crazy things that people have done to homes. I've seen them pop up palm trees out of the front yard and take them with them. Then you got to repair the property, and after that, then you got to go ahead and get the property listed. And if it's a slow marketplace, that property could sit on the market between 3 and 6 months. But for illustration purposes here, I just have it for a 3-month period. Then they go ahead and get their offer. Then they've got to go through the closing period. So a foreclosure on the market can have an impact of around 22 to 25 months of not making a payment, and basically being a negative statistic that's weighing on the market in terms of pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, REO. Again, this is just really a timeline to be able to make you understand that one home in California can have up to a 22-month, in this case even more, impact on market statistics. So when you're looking at that one property, keep in mind it's probably going to weigh on the market for about a 15-month to maybe 25-month period of time. I really went into detail on this in a different video, but I've been using this chart for the better part of a year. It was created by Credit Suisse, a Wall Street firm, and this is what's called a resetting or recasting chart. And the color codes here tell you the types of loans that are going to reset or recast. And what this basically is saying is that during this period of time that we just went through, this was 2008, okay? What we are seeing is a subprime market, that we saw a big flushing of a lot of the subprime loans. Now here's the good news. Most of the subprime loans that we're going to reset or recast have done so. You can see that that number really goes down. We are right here at the time of this recording right now, and what we're seeing is unsecuritized ARMs. Okay, that's not the seafoam green, but the dark blue bars. The seafoam green are option ARMs that are resetting or recasting. The Alt A, there you go. By the way, none of these qualify for the Obama plan. None of these, okay? The only ones that qualify for the Obama plan are the prime ARMs and the agency ARMs. That's the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac product, okay? And these small little gray bars don't qualify either. So you can see here, 3 out of 4 properties that are subject to recast or reset for the next two years basically are not going to qualify for relief underneath the Obama plan. So there's no incentive for the servicer or the investor, the lender, to be able to cooperate with the homeowner seeking help. So with that said, I hope this timeline has helped you. If you'd like more information, call my office, 800-313-6639. I am the President and CEO of Debt Advisory Alliance. We're a nationwide organization of mortgage, real estate, and legal professionals assisting homeowners with loan modifications, forbearance agreements, short sales. I mean, whatever we've got to do to try to provide some relief to the marketplace. That's what we do in a collaborative effort by pooling our resources as attorneys in our network with again, mortgage professionals and real estate professionals to be able to get the best outcome possible for the consumer. If you'd like more information about any of my services, those are all of my URLs to be able to take a look at that. And as I mentioned at the top of this recording, if you'd like to be able to receive a complimentary copy of this presentation, go ahead and contact my office and we'll make sure we get a copy out to you. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.